My name is Natalie Harper. I'm 32 years old. And 5 days a week, I spend 12-hour shifts surrounded by sick children, anxious parents, and the kind of emotional pressure that follows you home even when you scrub your hands raw and change out of your scrubs. I'm a pediatric nurse. I love my job, truly. But by Friday night, I'm finished in a way that sleep doesn't immediately fix. That's why my weekends matter. They aren't glamorous. They're quiet. Laundry, groceries, coffee that stays hot long enough to drink. Maybe brunch with friends if I'm feeling ambitious. That's it. Those 2 days are how I reset myself back into a human being. My older sister Lauren knows this. She's been married to Mark, her husband, for 6 years. They have triplet daughters, 3-year-old girls who are adorable, loud, chaotic, and exhausting in a way only toddlers multiplied by 3 can be. I love my nieces, I really do. But loving kids doesn't mean wanting to be responsible for them every weekend. That distinction is where everything started to crack. It began softly, the way entitlement usually does. "You're so good with kids," Lauren would say at family dinners, smiling like she was complimenting me. "The girls just adore their auntie." Or my favorite, "Must be nice having weekends off. Some of us never get a break." I pretended not to hear the subtext, laughed, changed the subject, took another bite of food. Then one afternoon she stopped hinting. "So," she said casually, like she was asking me to pass the salt, "I was thinking since you don't have kids and your weekends are free, you could take the girls every Saturday?" "Every Saturday." I blinked. "Take them how long?" "Oh, 8 in the morning until 6, maybe 7. Depends what we're doing." 10 to 11 hours. 3 toddlers. Every weekend. For free. "That's not going to work for me," I said carefully. Her face changed instantly. Not anger. Not yet. Something colder. "Why not?" she asked. "What else are you doing?" "Recovering from my work week. Living my life. Being a person." Instead, I said, "I work 50-plus hours already. I can help occasionally, but not every weekend." She crossed her arms. "You don't have kids," she said. "You don't know what tired is." I inhaled slowly. "I'm happy to babysit sometimes, with notice, for a few hours, not every Saturday." That's when she dropped the line that stung more than it should have. "Mark said you'd be difficult about this." That night, I called my brother-in-law. "Did you tell Lauren I'd be difficult?" There was a long pause. "She's been stressed," he said finally. "I might have mentioned you work with kids. I didn't mean—" "I'm not free childcare," I said. "I know," he replied. "I'll talk to her." He didn't, or if he did, it didn't matter. The texts started coming. Photos of the girls missing their auntie, passive-aggressive comments at family dinners. I held my boundary. Then came the Saturday morning that blew everything apart. The doorbell rang at 9 a.m. I opened it to see Lauren's minivan already pulling away, and 3 toddlers standing on my porch, with a diaper bag. She didn't even get out of the car. And in that moment, I understood something chilling. This was never a request. It was a test. I stood there for a full 3 seconds after the minivan disappeared, my hands still on the doorframe, the morning air cool against my skin. 3 little faces stared back at me, confused, sleepy, the youngest already wobbling on the edge of tears. There is a specific kind of panic that hits when you realize someone has made a decision for you that you explicitly refused, and then removed themselves from accountability. I ushered the girls inside because what else was I supposed to do? Leave 3-year-olds alone on a porch to make a point? I locked the door behind us and pulled my phone out with shaking fingers. Lauren didn't pick up. Straight to voicemail. I texted, "What are you doing? Come get your kids." The reply came 5 minutes later, breezy and dismissive. "Emergency shift. You'll be fine. Snacks are in the bag. Pick up around 5. Emergency shift. My chest went cold. Because even before I called Mark, I knew, instinctively, something was wrong. I dialed him anyway. "Did you know Lauren dropped the girls at my house?" "What?" His voice cracked with genuine confusion. "No. She said she got called in at work." "She left them on my porch," I said, and drove away. Silence. "I'm at a friend's place," he said finally, "working on his truck. She's not answering me either." That's when I said the words that changed everything. "Mark, can you check her location?" Another pause, longer this time. "I'm logging in now." 30 seconds passed, then he exhaled sharply. "She's not at the hospital." My stomach dropped. "Where is she?" "A spa resort 40 minutes from here." That was the moment the situation stopped being about childcare. It was about lies. He showed up half an hour later, jaw clenched so tight I thought his teeth might crack. He buckled the girls into his truck without saying much. "I'm sorry," he said quietly before leaving. "I'm going to handle this." I believed him. What I didn't expect was how fast Lauren would flip the narrative. By that evening, my phone exploded. "You called him. You couldn't just help one day? You ruined everything. I replied once. You lied. You dumped your kids on me without consent. That's on you. After that, I blocked her. That's when my parents got involved. My mom called first. You could have just handled it for one day, she said. Why cause drama? Because she lied to her husband and abandoned her kids, I said. That's not drama. That's a problem. She's overwhelmed, Mom replied. Mothers get overwhelmed. And nurses don't, I snapped. Or single women don't? She didn't answer that. The next day, Mark finally texted me. Can we talk? I just need someone neutral. We met for coffee. He looked wrecked, unshaven, exhausted, hollowed out. That spa day wasn't a one-off, he admitted. It was a pattern. He told me everything. Lauren had quit her part-time job 8 months earlier without telling him. The paychecks she'd been depositing were cash advances from a credit card he didn't know existed. $23,000 in debt. Spa days, shopping sprees, brunches, fake babysitting. She built an entire fake work life. I feel stupid, he said. How did I not see it? You trusted your wife, I said. That's not stupidity. That's when the social media posts started. Vague at first, then pointed. Some people destroy families because they're jealous. Blood isn't always thicker than water. Her friends started messaging me, calling me selfish, a homewrecker, for telling the truth. And that's when I realized something terrifying. Lauren wasn't embarrassed. She was angry she'd been exposed, and she was just getting started. I thought things would cool down after Mark and I talked. I was wrong. They didn't cool down. They curdled. Lauren didn't come back apologetic or embarrassed. She came back furious, like I'd violated some unspoken family contract that said her comfort mattered more than everyone else's consent. She found new ways to reach me after I blocked her number. Burner accounts, group chats, messages relayed through cousins. Every version said the same thing, just dressed differently. You betrayed me. Not I lied. Not I shouldn't have left my kids. Not I crossed a line. No, I betrayed her. Meanwhile, Mark stopped responding to family messages entirely. He wasn't defending himself publicly, but he wasn't backing her version either, and that silence made people nervous. Because silence creates a vacuum, and Lauren rushed to fill it. She told anyone who would listen that I hated children, that I'd always been jealous of her life, that I was bitter, single, and punishing her for having what I didn't. At one point, an aunt I hadn't spoken to in years texted me. Family helps family, Natalie. You shouldn't have humiliated her like that. Humiliated. By answering my door. By calling the only other parent when 3 toddlers were abandoned on my porch. I started to understand something important. People don't want the truth when it inconveniences their preferred story. Then Mark called me again. His voice sounded different. Calmer, colder. I pulled our bank records, he said. All of them. That's when the full picture emerged. Lauren hadn't just lied about work. She'd been lying about childcare too. The babysitter she told Mark about, the one he thought was watching the girls while she worked late, was actually her friend Megan. Megan would watch the girls for 2 hours. Lauren would pick them up. Then she'd spend the rest of the day at the spa or shopping while Mark believed she was pulling 12-hour shifts. For over a year, she'd coordinated it all through text. Jokes, laughing emojis, complaints about how easy it was to manipulate him. Mark's voice cracked when he told me that part. I don't even know who I'm married to, he said. That was the moment it stopped being a marriage problem and became a reckoning. Lauren noticed the shift too. A week later, she showed up at my apartment. I had just gotten home from a night shift. My scrub still smelled faintly of antiseptic. My eyes burned from lack of sleep. She was waiting outside my door. We need to talk, she said. I don't think we do. 5 minutes, she pleaded. Please. I didn't let her inside. We stood in the hallway, neighbors' doors closed, the air heavy with everything unsaid. She cried. She talked about motherhood, about feeling invisible, about how Mark didn't understand her. The spa days were the only thing keeping me sane, she said. And the debt? I asked quietly. The lies? She hesitated. I was going to fix it. With what money? I asked. You quit your job. She had no answer. When she left, she texted me later. You're cold, heartless, probably incapable of love. I blocked her again. 2 days later, my mother called me crying. Did you know Mark was abusive? She asked. My blood ran cold. Lauren had flipped the script. Emotionally abusive, financially controlling, isolating her. A trapped woman, a victim. My dad didn't buy it. She's lying again, he told me later, and your brother is documenting everything. Mark filed for divorce the next week. And when Lauren was served the papers, she screamed that I had destroyed her family. The hearing for temporary custody was scheduled for Tuesday. That's when Lauren made her last, most desperate move. She called me, begging, "You have to talk to him," she sobbed. "I can't lose my babies." I closed my eyes. "You should have thought about them before you built a year of lies." She hung up on me, and the court date arrived with evidence she couldn't explain away. I wasn't in the courtroom on Tuesday. I didn't need to be. By then, I had learned something hard but necessary. Being present doesn't mean being involved, and distance doesn't equal guilt. Mark called me that evening. He didn't sound shaken. He sounded resolved. "She didn't expect me to come prepared," he said. Lauren's lawyer had gone first, painted her as a devoted mother stretched past her limits. A woman drowning in responsibility, a wife suffocating under a husband who controlled the money and dismissed her needs. It was a compelling story, until Mark's lawyer stood up. Bank statements, credit card records, screenshots of Lauren's fake work schedules, spa receipts time-stamped during her supposed shifts, text messages coordinating the fake babysitting, and then the one message that changed the room. A text Lauren had sent to her sister 3 months earlier. "He has no clue. LOL. As long as I say I'm tired from work, he believes everything. Men are so dumb." The judge didn't smile. Temporary custody went to Mark. Supervised visitation twice a week for Lauren. Mandatory financial counseling. No overnights. When Mark finished telling me, I sat on my couch in silence. Not relief, not triumph, just grief, clean and sharp. Lauren called me after the hearing, crying, panicked. "You have to help me," she said. "You have to make him stop this." "I can't," I replied, "and I wouldn't if I could." "I was sick," she insisted. "I think I have depression." "Then get diagnosed," I said. "Get help. But don't ask me to rewrite the consequences of your choices." She told me I'd regret this. I didn't respond. The divorce moved faster than anyone expected after that. Lauren's lawyer stopped posturing once the evidence pile grew too heavy to deny. And 2 months later, it was over. Primary custody to Mark. Lauren's visitation gradually increasing, if she complied. The $23,000 debt assigned solely to her. One last move came right before the papers were finalized. Her mother called my parents, proposed mediation. The offer? If I apologized for starting all of this and agreed to help with childcare regularly, Lauren would stop pushing for more custody time. My dad shut it down immediately. "My daughter did nothing wrong," he said, "and using her as leverage is exactly why your daughter lost trust." He told me later. I cried when he did. Life didn't snap back to normal. It never does. But it settled. The girls adjusted faster than anyone expected. They're young. They're resilient. They love their dad. They love their mom during visits. Mark is exhausted. Single parenting triplets will do that, but steadier. His company adjusted his schedule. He hired a real babysitter. And yes, I help sometimes. On my terms. A few hours. When I offer, not when demanded. Lauren hasn't contacted me since the divorce finalized. From what I hear, she's back in retail, paying off debt, living with her mother, seeing the girls under supervision. Do I feel sorry for her? A little. But sympathy doesn't erase accountability. People keep asking if I'm glad things turned out this way. What a strange question. No one is glad a marriage collapses. No one is glad children are caught in the fallout. But I'm glad the truth came out. I'm glad I didn't become an enabler. Because the first no I said, the one that started all of this, was the most honest thing I could have done. Boundaries matter, and you're not responsible for the fallout when entitled people finally face consequences. That's their mess. Let them clean it up.